What's up, family? Man, welcome back. We're going to continue our series on relationships. This is going to be deep. This is going to be triggering for some of you. It's probably going to piss some of you off because you were triggered. Man, that's not the intent at all. My intent is for this to be educational. This is a grown folk channel. We keep it real here. You may not like the delivery, but it is what it is. I understand that when I speak and the way I speak, it's not for everybody. I get that. I'm not trying to get to everybody. It is what it is. And so we're going to use analogies and things that might offend some people. And if you're that easily offended, this channel is probably not for you. It is what it is, And I'm not trying to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not trying to win anybody over, That being said, have you ever gone to the bathroom and had like a number two, that you had to go number two? And when you got done, it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize I had that much crap in me. I didn't realize I had to go to the bathroom that much. That's what happened to me a number of years ago. Went to the bathroom. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize I had that much crap in me. And I could hear God saying, Elijah, this is what it's like when you dive deep. Elijah, this is what it's like when you do shadow work. Elijah, this is what it's like when you dive into the abyss of your subconscious thoughts. You don't realize how much crap is there. There's something there, but you don't realize how much toxic crap you're carrying around with you just because you can't see it. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. Again, we're talking about accountability. Accountability. I remember as a kid, my uncle abusing my aunt, the lady that was raising me. And I remember telling her one time, as a young man, a woman can't tell me nothing. And I meant that. And what I was telling Sandra, stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And she just looked at me. And she's like, what'd you say? I said, a woman can't tell me nothing. And she dismissed it as, oh, you being your daddy's son. She said something to that effect, oh, you definitely your daddy's son. But I was hurt and traumatized. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. Understand that as a 2-year-old kid, I saw my father murder my mom. My dad was very abusive, very violent. And he murdered my mom. Moved in with my aunt. Father's in prison. I remember seeing my aunt's husband choking on her and abusing her. A couple things happened to me. I lost respect for women. And I lost respect for guys. Stay with me. We're talking about accountability. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I looked at guys as authority figures, as quote unquote men. And I understand there's a difference between men and guys. I'm just going to say men, and I don't necessarily mean men. That's just all guys, okay? So if I use it today, it's interchangeable. I'm talking about just males, okay? But for the sake of the flow of the conversation, I'm going to say men. I lost respect for men. I lost respect for authority figures. Most of us as kids, we grow up and we see our fathers as the authority figure, the father as the disciplinarian. Cops, primarily males. So we see male figures as authority figures. Yes, mom has some authority, but pops are getting your ass. Moms get in your ass too, but not like pops will for the most part. And I understand some women were single, some women put the beating down. My aunt was definitely one of them. You know what I mean? But the truth be told, I feared the men far more than I feared any woman. As a kid. It's just within us. So I lost respect for authority figures, guys. But I also lost respect for women. I wasn't one of those guys that, because I grew up in a violent household, that I became violent. Nah, not me. I was the opposite. But I had no respect. That's what that did for me. Not that that was a good thing. I lost all respect for humanity, for women, for allowing this to happen. For allowing this to happen. See, my mother and father had split up. My mother tried to move on. My father asked her to come back over just so she could to bring me over there. He wanted to see me. He used me as an excuse to see my mom. And then it all popped off. So I lost respect for women. And I grew up thinking, a woman can't tell me shit. A woman ain't gonna never be able to fucking control me. Not ever. Why? Because of my childhood. Because what I saw my aunt and my mama go through. I would never allow a woman control over my life. I would never allow a woman to tell me anything. Because I didn't have respect for women. Because I saw women constantly getting beaten and disrespected and cheated on and and as a kid, I processed that as this is what all women do. Again, understand before you start throwing rocks at me, I was a kid. I thought as a kid. I didn't have all the information and knowledge and insight that I do now. So as this little kid who's been damaged without any clue of how damaged I've been, I didn't trust women. And my me not trusting women went back to, again, my mama, my auntie, you know what I mean? My sisters. And so in my mind, women wasn't shit. I learned this as a little kid. Guys wasn't shit either. Because it was guys that molested me as a 6-year-old boy. Guys wasn't shit either because it was a guy that killed my mama. Guys wasn't shit either because it was a guy that was beating and choking my auntie. So it wasn't that I just disrespected women. I didn't give a fuck about anybody. I didn't respect anybody, including myself. Talking about being accountable. And so what so many of us do, because we grow up, and what I've seen, just my experience and my studying and just me working with different people, or me mentoring and coaching people all over the world, from my limited experience and conversations with others. Women who grew up without a father figure, without that daddy figure, or that daddy figure was twisted in some way. He was in and out. He was in prison. He was alcoholic, or whatever the case may be. He was abusive, or whatever the case may be. When a woman grows up without a proper father figure, she can't really respect men. She don't really respect men. She don't. She could say she do. She could be passive. But the great majority of them are passive aggressive. They don't really respect men because they got daddy issues that they haven't resolved. Or they got ex-boyfriends and ex-husband issues that they haven't resolved. That go back to the daddy issues. Their husbands, their boyfriends was beating on them, was cheating on them, and they got these issues. And they really didn't respect their father. They really didn't see their father as somebody that they could look up to. Talking about being accountable. And so now, they don't realize how damaged they are. Just like when you go to the bathroom, you don't realize how much crap you have in you till you release it and let it go. Same thing with our subconscious thoughts. Same thing with our issues. So these women get in relationships with a damaged father figure. Issues, you know what I mean? And now they're trying to hook up with a guy. And the relationship is, you know what I mean? And they're already kind of suspicious of them. They're not really, my daddy was in and out. My father was never there. He was never reliable. I don't know about you. But I believe you. I'm going to give you a chance and we'll find out he cheating or he out there doing the most and he start beating on her, cheating on her, whatever the case may be. And so now she's like pushed off even more so. Because he's triggered her. He's reminded her of her daddy. And when you listen to women talk, for the most part, a lot of women talk about, man, I hooked up with somebody that was just like my daddy. I didn't see it at the time. But they were just like my daddy. And that relationships go bad. And now there's more dislike for guys. Because the daddy wasn't there. Now she hooked up with somebody else. And he broke her heart. He dogged her out. And now that she's reflecting, he reminds her just like her daddy, of her daddy. Relationship after relationship, like, dang, you too. You remind me of my daddy like this. And you remind me of my daddy because he would do. And it's just all these constant reminders. And this is not just about women and their father figures. It's the same thing with guys. With guys and their moms. I talk about my life because I want you to understand. I need you to see this is what you have to do. I'm open and transparent about my life because I've done the work. Don't compare yourself to me. Don't sit there and tell me, oh, I never went through that and did that. No, that's not what this is about. That's not the intent of this. The intent of this is for you to sit back and reflect your life. What you've gone through, man, okay, and just use me as an example of what you need to do with your life. And so I grew up with authority issues because I didn't trust guys. I grew up with women issues because I didn't respect my mama and I didn't respect my auntie. Now, I'm older, but I don't know how to be accountable to anybody. I can't be accountable to anybody. So I'm wilding the fuck out. I'm doing the most. I'm doing what the fuck I want to do because can't nobody tell me shit. Can't nobody tell me shit. Because I don't give a fuck about what dudes talking about. And I definitely don't give a fuck about what these females talking about. Because I've been damaged. I've been damaged. And so I grew up with authority issues. As a little kid, I was in the YMCA. And I've talked about this before. And we had a bus driver named Lorraine. And she would be barking at different people, different kids on the bus. And I didn't really like Lorraine. She was okay, but I didn't like the way she got down. I thought she was a bully. And I'm the type of person, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody bullying me. We not doing none of that shit. And I don't give a fuck who you are. You can't tell me shit. Again, I have authority issues. So we're in a bus. And I'm sitting back there with my people, my cousins and stuff, and friends, and we sitting there chopping it up, laughing in the back of the bus, just clowning around. Do what little kids do. And Lorraine yelled from the bus driver's seat, "Broadway, take out that gum." I ignored her. This bitch got me fucked up. What the fuck you yelling at? I'm a kid. We just laughing, clowning. And they're like, you go ignore me? Fuck that bitch. You know what I mean? Who the fuck she thinks she talking to? And so she yelled it again because now she's triggered. She's challenged. Somebody's challenging her. Somebody's standing up to her. Somebody's ignoring her. And she's not used to that. Ain't no woman tell me what the fuck to do. Especially authority figure woman. You ain't doing shit for me? Fuck you. So she gets up and stands by her seat, turns around and yells, "Broadway, I said take out that gum out your mouth." Everybody got quiet on the bus. I look at my peoples and I start laughing. I said, "You want it out my mouth? You gonna take it out my mouth." And I stuck out my tongue. I got in a lot of trouble for that. A lot of trouble for that. She didn't come take the gum out, but I got in a lot of trouble for that. It's not a funny story. When you look at it, it shows two people, a grown-ass woman with unresolved issues and this little broken kid with authority issues. This little broken kid with his own set of damages. They're clashing because she has issues and I have issues. A lot of them. I didn't realize I had issues at that time. I didn't realize how damaged I was at that time. Fast forward. All the women I got in relationships with, you guys heard me say this before, I saw them as broken and I wanted to help them. It was as though it was my purpose in life to help these women heal and grow. Because I've been damaged. Because I saw my mama broken. I saw my auntie as broken. And so all women were fucked up and needed somebody to rescue them. I didn't respect them. I just needed to help fix them because they'd been damaged. Not realizing that I was probably far more damaged than any of them. Accountability. See, most of us, we don't want to be held accountable. You look at this generation now, you can't tell nobody shit. Nobody wants you to check them. Nobody wants you to put them in their motherfucking place. Nobody wants you to tell them, no, they can't have this, or no, they can't do what to do. This generation growing up is the most uncountable generation we've had on this fucking planet. The most entitled generation we've had on this planet. Why? Because we grew up, this generation grew up with the internet. They grew up, stay with me, I'm going somewhere. They grew up with everything at their fucking disposal. Everything's right there. This is the microwave generation also. Well, what I mean by that is, everything happens just like that. Just like that. Throw food in there, boom, a minute later it's done. So they have no understanding of delayed gratification. They have no understanding of having to put in fucking work to get anything. When we were kids growing up, we literally had to walk our happy ass to the fucking library, check out some fucking books and get fucking these heavy ass encyclopedias and do some fucking research. This generation growing up, these generations growing up now, these motherfuckers is Siri, what is da-da-da? Siri, what is da-da-da? Siri, what is da-da-da? And the answer pops up right for them. Hit Google, da-da-da-da-da, what's da-da-da-da-da? Boom, here's all the answers. Here's all the papers and all these other stuff. Information on what you're looking for. Everything's right there. There's no fucking work for them. You're talking about being accountable. Stay with me. And so what happens is you stop appreciating shit. You don't really value shit because it didn't really cost you nothing or anything. Being accountable. See, most of us, we're terrified. We get in relationships and we can't be accountable with each other. And you can't be accountable to each other if you're not transparent and open and honest with each other. And we're not open and honest and transparent with each other because we don't want to be held accountable. We don't want to be told, man, a dude ain't supposed to just sit on his fucking ass all fucking day playing fucking video games. Ain't nothing fucking manly about that shit. What kind of bullshit you on? You want to sit around on fucking video games, watching fucking TV all fucking day, smoking and drinking and what the fuck are you doing? That's not what a fucking man do. Oh, you got a woman and she out doing all the fucking work. Guys don't want to be told that shit anymore. Guys don't want to be told, man, ain't nothing cool about you hanging out with your partners all fucking night. You married, you got fucking kids. Take your dumb ass home. Guys don't want to be accountable to anybody. You can't tell me how to be a man. I pay my own bills. That's not about that. It's about us trying to help you so that you don't make the same mistakes we made. It's about us trying to share some knowledge and wisdom and insight with you so that it don't cost you years of your life having to recover and recoup all the shit you fucking worked for and lost because you want to be ignorant and run the fucking streets. You want to keep chasing ass when you had a nice piece of ass at home. You want to keep chasing skirts and all this other shit when you had a beautiful, loving wife at home or girl at home. You had your kids in the house with you, but you wasn't there with them. You was out doing all this other bullshit. Now they're gone. And you're broken talking about this bitch. No, be accountable. What the fuck were you doing? What the fuck weren't you doing that you should have been doing? I've heard guys say, just through some mentoring and coaching, man, I provided, I took care of the house, I went to work, I bought everything. That's good, that's great. But the bitch still left and still took the fucking kids and went through that. Okay. How much quality time did you spend at home? Huh? How much quality time did you spend at home? How much quality time did you spend with your woman? See, so many of us as fathers, as guys, we'll come home and we'll play with the kids and ignore her. We'll come home from work and go straight to the kids. Or we'll grab a beer or whatever drink, and then we'll go hang out with the kids. Chop it up with the kids. And treat her like she's invisible. Treat her like she's the fucking babysitter. Treat her like she's a fucking nanny. Like she didn't have a hard day. Like she ain't did shit. Like she don't have any feelings. Because you've had a stressed out day. You were emotionally detached. Because nobody showed you how to be present in the moment as a man. Now, you're as a kid, now you're in a relationship and this woman is pleading with you to talk to her and open up and and you don't know how to do that because you've never been taught that. You've always been told that's some punkish shit. Guys don't talk about their fucking feelings. Guys don't get fucking emotional. That's women shit and we'll do that. And that's what most of us as guys have been taught. Then we grow up and get in relationships. And we don't know how to talk. We don't know how to open up. We don't know how to talk about our fears, our feelings. And so we're emotionally detached and we start growing apart. And we wonder why the relationship ended. We start blaming her and being mad at her. I was working, I was doing that. And we completely miss the fact that we wasn't there for her emotionally. And I know guys have been like, well, you can't just put this all on the guy. Man, if he's working and tired, I don't give a fuck about the bullshit. We've got to grow the fuck up and stop playing these fucking childish games. We've got to grow the fuck up and learn to be accountable for our motherfucking actions. We've got to learn how to deal with our shit so that we can be present and accountable for our women and our kids. Most guys don't like seeing their wife or their woman cry when she gets emotional. Most guys don't like having these type of conversations with her about her feelings and the because it's a trigger to us for our unhealed shit. Her feelings, her emotions are triggering us. And we don't know how to deal with our shit. And so we get pissed at her for making us feel vulnerable, for making us feel helpless, and putting us in that fucking position. So we snap at them for being who they are because they're triggering us and making us feel helpless because we don't know how to help them. We don't know how to listen to them. We don't know how to deal with our shit. We ain't never dealt with our shit. So we can't listen to them without getting triggered. And that's why we get pissed and snap. Same thing happens with women. Because women haven't healed from all their shit. They get triggered too. And because they got triggered, they snap and go fucking left too. We're all damaged. We all have to learn how to deal with our bullshit and how to understand and heal from our bullshit. Because when you don't, you're going to take that shit into another relationship and another relationship, and you're going to keep getting the same fucking results. And the trick, this is why so many people, man, fuck relationships. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'd rather be alone. They'd rather be alone, the great majority of them, because they don't want to be accountable. The great majority, they'd rather be alone because they don't want to deal with their shit. And they don't want to deal with somebody else's shit. We say we don't want to deal with other people's shit. The truth is, the great majority of us don't want to deal with our shit. It is what it is. We are accountable. We are responsible to heal and grow the fuck up and be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light for the rest of humanity. So that humanity can understand that, man, it's not just me that feels like this. It's not just me that's going through this. I'm not the only one who's had that happened to them. I'm not the only one who feels like this. Okay, good. Man, if they went through that and they're better now, that gives me hope of becoming better. If they've gone through all this and more than I did, and they got their shit straight, they got their shit healed and resolved, and now they have peace and joy and happiness, then I can look at my shit, fix my shit, and still be a fucking man. I can look at my shit, fix my shit, learn how to become vulnerable and transparent, learn how to be accountable to others, to help others heal and grow. Because I've done the work. Because I've done the work. Because you've done the work. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. You don't realize how much crap is in you until you dive deep. And it is what it is. I hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, or to even challenge your way of thinking. We have to grow up. We have to understand why we are the way we are. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Happy healing. Peace.